and we bring in our good friend Ron Jaworski. Bortles, Manziel, Bridgewater, did they have them in the right order? Forget about the selection. Did they have them in the right order in terms of talent, Ron?
Yeah, they're pretty close to what I had. I think when teams look at quarterbacks, they're looking for a fit for the style of offense that they're going to run. I clearly thought in my evaluation of the quarterback position, I know we've talked about this for a few weeks now, Bortles was the guy that I liked as the number one quarterback. I know a lot of people seem surprised by his selection as the number one quarterback. I was not. Clearly, Bridgewater was in the mix. Derek Carr, I think, will go in the first probably 5 picks today. There's a few other guys, Garoppolo, that you're going to see go early in this second round. So, you're going to see the run on quarterbacks now. But as far as yesterday goes, it wasn't far from where I projected it.
What do you
Prototypical NFL quarterback. And my lens as I evaluate the position, one of the things I consider very important as an attribute, and that is size. I like the Bradys. I like the Mannings. I like the Flaccos. I like those 6'5" quarterbacks that are 230 pounds when they get hit. They can take a beating and keep on ticking and line up and go back to the huddle. I believe arm strength and accuracy are critical, as well as toughness. And those are the attributes that I saw in Bortles. I was at his pro day at Central Florida, just outside of Orlando, and the ball exploded out of his hand. So he has tremendous arm strength, which is critical at the next level when you're throwing against 5, 6, and sometimes 7 defensive backs on the field. The windows are very, Bortles had all those attributes.
All right, now Teddy Bridgewater, when this all began, people were draft, and he did not have a good pro day. He didn't wear gloves. Why did he drop all that? I mean, he almost dropped out of the first round, Ron. Why?
Yeah, that really affected the perception of him, the fact that he had that poor pro day. I was there. I was in Louisville. Going into that pro day workout, I had Teddy Bridgewater as my number 1 ranked quarterback based on my film evaluation. I thought he was NFL ready. His mechanics were very good. His reading progression was outstanding, I thought. His ability in the pre-snap phase was excellent as well. He knew protections. He would slide coverage. He would identify the mic. He saw all those things you look for that project beautifully to the next level. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't come out of his hand cleanly. Now, I know you may say the glove or whatnot, but, the first few throws were wobbly. They were erratic, and I think he began to press and began to arm throw rather than sequence his legs into his throw, and he really struggled with his pro day. Now, I also heard when I spoke to some teams that worked him out privately that he struggled as well. So I think, you certainly can maybe discount one workout as a pro day, but if it was consistent at the private workouts, it certainly hurt his draft value.
Now, just based on the pro day, Steve Young was on with us yesterday, and he said it should make you fall if you have a bad pro day because you can't afford to have bad days in the NFL. And that's almost like a game or a playoff situation. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Steve is right on it. And we have to remember, these are pro days that are scripted and customized to showcase the talents of the quarterback throwing the football. They've been working for probably 90 to 100 days with their quarterback guru, let it be a George Whitfield, a Jordan Palmer, a Terry Shea, these guys that spend an inordinate amount of time, working on the mechanics of these prospects for the NFL. So it should be a day where you actually wow the coaches and scouts that are there. Most of the guys do. Unfortunately, Teddy Bridgewater did not.
Okay, so let me go to the flip side then, Ron. We had you on the day of Manziel's pro day. You said it was one of the best pro days you've ever seen. So does that mean that people had him projected as the 2nd or 3rd round pick, and he only went to 22nd? I mean, why did his pro day not count? Because he had great film too.
Oh, it did count, but again, I think when you look at production, which was very good by Johnny Manziel, his production was outstanding when you look at what he was able to accomplish in his 2 years of playing at Texas A&M. Then you have to take that production and project that to the NFL. So does that production at the collegiate level project to success at the NFL level? That's what makes this evaluation process so darn difficult. The guys that are being paid millions of dollars in these NFL front offices to make these decisions. We all know Joe Banner and Ray Farmer in Cleveland commissioned a study and spent $100,000 to figure out how to draft a quarterback and what are the attributes you have to get a successful NFL quarterback. And even with all that study and work being done, it's about 50%, 50% wrong.
Now, does Carr go today, and to who?
Yeah, I think there'll be a run on quarterbacks right now. I think you'll see Derek Carr go, Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm a Zach Mettenberg guy. I love Tom Savage's game as you project to the NFL. I think A.J. McCarron's a guy that I like. Logan Thomas is intriguing to me because it's 6'6", 250 pounds. He's got the most powerful arm in this draft, but the accuracy is off. But I think you can improve accuracy. So I think you'll see a run on quarterbacks tonight.
I've read, Ron, that Carr is actually hurt because his brother didn't do well in the league. Is there any truth to that?
That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. I've been hearing that all day. Why would you?
I couldn't believe it. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, some brothers don't even get along.
Yeah, I've got a brother. I know what you mean. But, I'm like, what, are you kidding me? I mean, David Carr, it didn't work out. It was a whole different regime. He had no protection. The guy just got shredded in the pocket, The guy was beat, battered, bruised, and concussed. Okay, here comes his brother, who is a terrific talent. The guy can make every throw. He's played in a couple different offenses at Fresno State. I project him as a rock-solid NFL quarterback. But to say you're not going to draft him because his brother didn't get it done in the city that's looking to draft him, I just say stupid. It makes no sense to me.
Now, Ron, this is kind of a quarterback's question, and it has to do with the Giants. Would the Giants have done better for Eli Manning picking up Zach Martin or going with the way they did with the wide receiver Odell Beckham?
I love Odell Beckham. In fact, one of the things I spoke about today was guys in that first round that I think helped themselves, and clearly it was the New York Giants with Odell Beckham. When you lose a Hakeem Nicks, you got to replace him. I think now when you look at Odell Beckham, the guy can play in the slot. He could play outside. He's got incredible quickness. He can help on special teams. He will be a complete NFL player. I think he's a guy that Eli will love throwing the football. He's a very precise route runner, and sometimes we don't talk enough about that. Because someone's supposed to be at an area of the field, a landmark on the field, hit that landmark so the quarterback can trust you. And the one thing about Beckham, he was always in the right place at the right depth, and he had a knack for getting open. He was a very fluid route runner.
All right, who else do you think hit a home run in the first round?
Yeah, I think clearly it was the St. Louis Rams. When you get the offensive lineman to help protect Sam Bradford, that's huge. And Greg Robinson is an excellent offensive lineman. But I loved Aaron Donald, who they got at 13. And Aaron Donald is a penetrating, Warren Sapp type defensive tackle, and I actually think with a little more quickness. Now, why I say this pick was so exceptional, you look at the Rams' defensive line. There's some incredible talent there with Chris Long at defensive end, Robert Quinn at defensive end. And then you got Brockers inside, who's just a big oak tree climbing things up the middle. Oh, by the way, all three of those guys were first-round draft choices. Now you add Aaron Donald into the mix, and I think the Rams have what I'm going to call the new fearsome foursome up front.
And final thing, do you think that the Texans made the right move drafting Clowney?
Absolutely. I think he has a chance to be a Hall of Fame type player. And I kind of made the analysis of you don't want to be the Portland Trailblazers who drafted Sam Bowie ahead of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had tremendous upside. We saw him realize that upside. I think Jadeveon Clowney is the same type of guy. You see that tremendous upside. You don't want to be the team to pass on him. The Texans didn't. I think you got a heck of a player.
Ron, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time as always.
You bet. My pleasure, guys.